Welcome to Our Hometown, the show where we take an in-depth look at some of the people and organizations that make this area unique. This month we'll be focused on events that give back to the community. First we'll meet with Kay Wolf and Karen Collins from Waves for Kids. They'll share information about their Chocolate Decadence Gala. Then we'll speak with Mark McKeithen and Tom Adams of the South Brunswick Islands Rotary. They'll discuss their second annual Chilled and Grilled event. And finally, we'll talk with Dave Morgan and Sheila Roberts from the Southport Rotary, who will give us information on their Go Jump in the Lake 5K. So stay with us for the next half hour as we explore our hometown. My guests are Kay Wolf and Karen Collins. They are with Waves for Kids. I interviewed them a year or two ago, and we're very happy to have them back. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
All right. The first question that always comes to mind is to tell us, just in the general terms, what Waves for Kids is all about. What do you do?
Waves for Kids is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization, and we focus on meeting the unmet financial needs of the youth of Brunswick County that are in foster care, Child Protective Services.
Well, that tells it pretty well. Are these unmet needs clothing, books, financial support? Is that what we're talking about?
Absolutely. Clothing, books, school supplies, book bags. It's also things that help take care of the family, like pest control.
Sure.
Sometimes emergency medical equipment.
Good.
Sometimes it's travel needs. It's whatever the state does not cover, we do.
Which is a lot.
Right. See, most people think the state covers everything for that child. The state is required to provide housing and food. Pretty much the rest of it comes through us.
Well, it's a wonderful service you provide. Karen, tell us a little bit about Waves, how long it's been around, and a little more.
Yeah, actually Waves started in 2004 by a small group of people from DSS and the Guardian ad litem programs, and it's grown tremendously over the years. Kay actually became the president in 2008.
I did hear you say it's an all-volunteer organization, and you have a board.
Yes.
And an advisory board as well.
Mm-hmm.
How large is your board?
Well, our board, we actually have about 30 people, and then the advisory board, we have about 20.
Now, you cover the whole county.
Yes, sir, we do.
And before we went on the air, you mentioned that it's for foster kids and those in protective services.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay. How many kids are currently participating in several of your programs?
Right now we're serving over 1,000 children and their families, all based in Brunswick County.
Wow, that is quite a service. Okay, well, let's talk about funding. What are your sources of funding? I heard you say it's a volunteer organization. We know that.
Our funding comes from principally 3 places. We do 2 large fundraisers a year. We also receive funds from other civic organizations.
Sure.
And we receive funds from individuals. The last part of our funding comes from grants from other foundations.
Talk about volunteers for a minute. You have numerous volunteers, I'm sure.
Yes, we do. We have, over the course of a year, approximately 100 people that volunteer at our various events, and they're the backbone of the event's success. They really, truly are. We have other ways that you can volunteer for Waves, and that is to be a foster parent or a guardian ad litem.
Sure.
Those are the greatest needs. We will take you as a volunteer for 1 hour, 2 hours, or all day long, depending on your availability.
Our viewers will know what a foster parent is, but tell us what a guardian ad litem is.
That is a court-appointed advocate for that child. Mm-hmm. And literally, they will go with the child. They're assigned the case, and any court appearances that that child has, that guardian ad litem is there to speak on behalf of the child.
Excellent. I know you necessarily coordinate your activities with DSS, and before
Yes, we
went on the air, you mentioned a couple of ladies that are most significant. Tell us about them.
Absolutely. Daphne Green, who is the program administrator for the Department of Social Services. Daphne literally takes care of all the foster care children, the Child Protective Services kids, and her supervisor is the head of DSS, which is Kathy Litch. Kathy used to be in Daphne's position.
They're your go-to people.
Absolutely. They're our gatekeepers, and they are very, very great at responding and helping us and recruiting volunteers from their staff.
Right. Karen, do you work with other agencies?
Yes, we work with Child Protective Services and DSS.
Sure, sure. Let's talk about the kids, because we mentioned clothing and we mentioned books, but there's a wide variety of needs for these kids.
Yes, there is.
I understand that you tailor your services to individual kids, so that one kid might need one thing and one kid might need another. Talk about that.
That's exactly true. You may have one child that, for example, is getting ready to go to school and needs a laptop.
Sure.
Okay, our Knowledge for Kids, which is where we partner with Computers for Kids in Brunswick County, they will provide that laptop. We may have another child who has an unusual situation regarding a medical issue and needs particular medical monies to help with medical expenses. We would tailor that request for that. In other words, it's very individualized.
Right.
We have several initiatives that are generalized for all kids, but we have what we call our Special Assistance Fund, which is what meets these individual needs.
Right. Let's talk about one of the reasons you're here, and that is to talk about the Chocolate Decadence Ball. It's
Absolutely.
a great name, by the way. So tell us about it, Karen.
Well, it's going to be September the 27th.
Right.
And the tickets are $65. And we are going to have Jackie Gore as our band there. He's famous for the song I Love Beach Music.
Now, that's shag music.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, so it's-
And you were telling me about him a moment ago, but he has a band also.
Yes.
So the evening is one of music and chocolate decadence?
Yes.
Is that the deal?
Yes. It's going
All
to be a
right.
wonderful time. And it's a great way to support our children.
Okay.
here in
Again,
Brunswick.
September 27th.
Yes.
And the location is?
Is St. James Community Center.
Right. And you're expecting 400 or 500 of our closest friends to
Absolutely.
be there, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's been a success in the past, I'm
It
sure.
has.
Yeah.
It has. This year's going to be even more awesome.
That's great. Let's talk just a little bit more about the events at the ball.
Okay.
Tell us what else. I know you have silent auctions and some other events.
Yes, we do. We have a live auction, a silent auction. We also have a photographer that professionally takes your photo as a souvenir.
Right.
You get that. It's part of your price of the ticket. You also get an enormous amount of fun things to do. We have local restaurants do heavy hors d'oeuvres.
Right.
Our chocolatiers are local bakeries.
I like that name,
they-
chocolatiers.
Yeah, they come, and so you get to have a fun, wonderful evening, great music, great food, just getting involved with the community, giving back to our kids.
And we'll mention the time and place and date again, but the dress,
Well,
Karen?
the dress is semi-formal to formal. We do require jackets for men.
Good.
No tuxedos, so
Yeah.
just a jacket.
Now, give us the time and place again. Our
It
viewers
is
will want to know that.
September the 27th. It will be at the St. James Community Center, which is located on Highway 211.
Yeah.
And the hours are from 6 to 10, and we do sell out rather quickly.
Let's remind our viewers, on a more serious note, that so many of these children that are in foster care have been the subjects of abuse or neglect. And so let us remind our viewers as well that they can and should, and from my perspective must, report these incidents when they know of them.
Absolutely. From the period of time that you and I have been talking today, one child in North Carolina has died from child abuse. In North Carolina, we have approximately 30 to 40 children die annually. The sad part is most of that abuse is from biological parents. 85% of the kids that go into foster care or child protective services have minimally been abused in some ways, including some sexually, some physical. It's up to us to change that. So if you see that, either call your local sheriff, call your police department, call DSS.
Sure.
There
Report.
are all kinds of people that can help you, and you can do that anonymously.
Karen and Kay, thank you for being with us today. We hope, we know that you'll have a full house and a great event. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Get your shagging shoes on.
I'll do that. My guests are Mark McKeithen and Tom Adams. They're with the South Brunswick Islands Rotary Club. They're great friends of mine. Gentlemen, welcome to our show.
Good to be here.
We're here to talk about a little bit about Rotary and a whole lot about your Chilled and Grilled events, which is coming up soon. Mark, let's start with you. Tell us just a little bit about Rotary and about the South Brunswick Island Rotary Club.
Sure. Well, we're very proud members of Rotary International, which is the world's oldest as well as largest service club. Right. And the kind of the ideals of Rotary are perfect for people who are interested in giving back to the community in some form or fashion. And Rotary allows individuals to do that. So, for instance, in our club, the South Brunswick Islands Rotary Club, we have about 70 members from all backgrounds and ages and experiences and occupations, but we all have some common goals. One, serving others and doing good in the community.
Right.
And so that's that vehicle that allows us to do that is our club, the South Brunswick Islands Rotary Club.
Great. And that's a perfect segue to my question for Tom, which is, tell us about the particular focus of the South Brunswick Island Rotary Club.
Jim, our mission is really quite simple, and that mission is to serve the youth of Brunswick County. And we do that by offering citizenship awards to elementary school students, providing Christmas for students at other schools that are in need. We also help youth by through the Brunswick Family Assistance and Matthews Ministries.
Right. There are a number of ways that the club raises money so as to devote these monies to these various good endeavors. Tell us about those.
Sure. Well, we've done, all the different organizations in Brunswick County, and there's probably 100 plus, all have some versions of the same things. Golf tournaments, of course, right. Some kind of raffle ticket sales, or there's always some kind of cook sales, barbecue plates or fish fries. So we kind of all are out there doing some of the same things. Our club has traditionally always done a golf tournament, and most years have always done some type of a version of a raffle ticket sale. And those two events have typically yielded us quite a bit of money to support the many programs that our club has focused on in the past.
All right. We're here to talk about Chilled and Grilled, the second annual.
Yes, it is.
The first annual was a huge success.
It was.
And we know also that this one will be just as great a success. But we do want the viewers to know about it, and we'll talk about that for a few minutes. Tell us how the idea began.
Well, one of the things I think our club as a whole, when we looked at, as I just mentioned, there's so many different fundraisers in Brunswick County, all very similar. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to try to come up with an event that could be inclusive of many more citizens of Brunswick County. This is obviously a food-focused event, which is always very popular. In Brunswick County, there are 6 or 8 different annual events that typically are expensive to attend, $75 to $100 type per person tickets, maybe black tie affairs. Those are wonderful and great, and I think we've all enjoyed attending some of those events and will again in the future. But with Chilled and Grilled, we looked at what's an opportunity for hundreds and hundreds of people to come together at an event, focused on food, of course,
Sure.
For extremely low cost. How could we kind of make it all-inclusive for many citizens of our county? And in looking at some other area events, other people in the club, we've been to food-type shows in different parts of the country where we lived or where we had spent time. And so we kind of brainstormed to put those ideas together and came up with an event that really is low cost for attendees, focuses on not only just food but socialization and fellowship. And when we tried to put all that together in this package, we came up with this concept called Chilled and Grilled.
Great. Tom, paint us a picture. If I were to attend the Chilled and Grilled, and I will, should I bring my kids and my family?
Oh, absolutely, Jim.
And what would it be like to move about the space?
Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
We have over 20 restaurants represented at our Chilled and Grilled event that offer small portions of their favorite foods.
I see.
You know, their top of the menu, I guess, would be a good way to say it. But you have an opportunity to taste any or all of those foods for a very reasonable price. Tickets are $1 each. Most of the food items are 2 to 3 to up to 4 tickets. Not anything is more than 4 tickets. So it's good to bring the family and have, you know, the children there as well, because we do have a lot of dessert items that the kids like. But last year we had about 600 attendees. This year we are expecting quite a bit more than that, just because we're into our second year. But most all of the restaurants that participated last year have agreed to participate again this year. And the proceeds from the event go into our charitable funds that we use again for the youth of Brunswick County.
Now we'll get into more of the details in a moment, but tell us where it occurs.
It occurs at the Dinah E. Gore Fitness Center at Brunswick Community College.
Okay.
Will be held on September the 18th, and we'll open the doors about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking.
And I'm trying to envision the experience. Would the vendors be around the edges of the facility, and you would simply go from space to space and sample the foods? Is that the idea?
Yeah, if you've ever been to any kind of a market where they have little booths set up, we have set up 10 by 10 areas for each vendor with their name of their restaurant, and then they serve over the table, you know, to whomever.
Right.
Then we have tables set up in the middle for people to sit and gather and eat and socialize.
I want our viewers to imagine what it's like, and I think you've painted a good picture. Mark, I want to tempt our viewers.
Right.
I want them to know of some of the terrific food offerings that the club is offering. So tell us a little bit about the ones that you can recall.
Absolutely. Gosh, last year we had seared scallops. We had a wonderful shrimp bisque that a restaurant had on site. Gosh, there was shrimp and grits, of course.
Sure.
One restaurant had this awesome chicken drunken soup. I've never heard of it, but as a matter of fact, it was one of our award winners. There was a seafood lasagna. There was fried shrimp. There was barbecue. There was cheesecake. There were several different other dessert examples.
Yeah. Famous meatballs and pasta from a local restaurant.
Yep.
And let's don't forget about the Italian ice that we had there that
Absolutely.
really was attracted to the children.
Yeah. All right, you have my attention.
Absolutely.
It sounds terrific. Opportunities for additional food vendors?
Yeah, there are actually. We have several that are already committed. We're looking for probably another half a dozen or so more. We'd love restaurants from all over Brunswick County so that the county is well represented.
Sure.
This event will draw citizens from all over the county to the BCC campus that day. So please, if there's any vendors, restaurants, caterers, bakeries that would love to participate, there'll be some contact information afterwards.
Good, good. Let's talk about the time and place and details, and our hope and expectation that hundreds and hundreds will come to this event. Tell us again about the details.
It is Thursday, September 18th from 4 to 8 p.m. on the campus of Brunswick Community College in the gymnasium. Extremely inexpensive to attend. Come join 800 to 1,000 of your fellow Brunswick County friends and socialize, eat great food, hear some good music, and enjoy an evening, all the while helping the youth of Brunswick County.
You said it so well. Mark McKeithen, Tom Adams,
Thank
for
you
being
so
with
much.
us.
Thank you, Jim.
My guests are Dave Morgan and Sheila Roberts. They're with the Southport Rotary Club, and they're here to tell us a great story about an up-and-coming event. I've got to get this right. It's called the Go Jump in the Lake 5K. Did I get it right, Dave?
You got it right.
All right, Dave. Tell us how it got started.
Well, it got started about 6 years ago by a few people in the community of Boiling Spring Lakes to raise some funds to build a park there and put in some playground equipment and stuff. And after that goal was accomplished, it was turned over to the Southport Rotary Club about 3 years ago. So this is our third year of running this, and it's held through some of the streets and roads there at Boiling Spring Lakes through the community. Finish line is just right in front of one of the lakes, and as you come on the finishing line, you actually, if you want to, and a lot of people do, go run right into the lake, jump in the lake.
That was going to be one of my questions, but you've just answered it.
They actually do jump in the lake, and it's held on Sunday on Labor Day weekend, so it's still pretty hot and humid that time of year, so it's a good way to cool off after you finish the race.
Now, it's two races, actually. Am I correct?
It's two races. There's a regular 5K
Right.
race, and it's a serious race. It's a
Sure.
fun event, but the 5K is still a serious race. It's a chipped event, and so you'll, be given your exact
accurate
times
time.
and everything. Sure. And after you finish the serious part of it, you jump in the lake. There's also a 1.5 mile fun run, which anybody can participate in, whether you're a kid or whether you're in a wheelchair or crutches or whatever. You just cover that 1.5 miles, and it's called a fun run.
Right. Sheila, are there some opportunities for sponsorship?
Absolutely. We have some amazing sponsors already, and we're looking for more. Sponsorship levels go from $50, $150, $350, and we like to give those sponsors recognition on their T-shirt, on our website, on our Facebook page, to make sure that this is a community-supported event.
You're with the New Hope Clinic.
That's right.
And I did want to talk about that for a moment, in large part because so much of the proceeds will go to the New Hope Clinic. Am I correct?
That's right. In addition to being a Southport Rotarian, I'm the executive director of New Hope Clinic, and the clinic is very excited to partner with the Southport Rotary. They've been a longtime supporter, as have the other clubs and many community organizations, to provide services to our community.
I want to come back to the race in a minute, but tell our viewers a little bit more about the New Hope Clinic and what you do.
New Hope Clinic, we've been working since 1998 to ensure that Brunswick County residents who don't have access to health care get access to those basic services that they can't afford elsewhere. We provide medical, dental, and pharmacy services with a mostly volunteer staff. We run a facility out of Boiling Spring Lakes and help over 1,000 people every year access those basic services.
Well, thank you for what you do. It's a wonderful service.
Thank you.
Wonderful service. Okay, back to the race. Do you need an organizer or a race promoter, or is the club the actual promoter?
We have an organizer, which is Go Time, based out of Wilmington, and they do a lot of races up and down the East Coast, close to Wilmington. And
nowadays, it's a sufficiently technical business that you need someone like that.
It's very technical, yeah. I remember races years ago where you just cite somebody. Yeah, it looks.
I remember those
there.
too.
Yeah, but now it's all technical, and there's electronic equipment, and they have computers right there on site. And golly, you need this to race. You do.
Yeah.
So they handle that. The company is Go Time, and all the manpower and the other work is provided by the Rotary Club, and we'll have all of our bodies out there directing traffic and doing other things that need to be done during the race. But the actual timing and all that's handled by Go Time.
Dave, I want to divert for just a moment and ask you to tell us a little bit about the Southport Rotary Club and what you do and what your charities are, for example, in addition to the New Hope Clinic.
Okay, the Southport Rotary Club was actually chartered in 1986, so it's been there for a few years.
Right.
We have about 50 members in the club, and there's a lot of old folks like me, but we have young folks like Sheila and other young folks coming in.
It's a real mix, I'm sure.
It's a good, healthy mix. In fact, our presidents, we've managed to organize our presidents where we alternate between an old retired person and a young working person.
Great idea.
So it keeps a balance in the club.
Yeah.
Besides the New Hope Clinic, and they're obviously a major part of this particular fundraiser, but we have a lot of other local charities that we help. The Providence Home there in Southport, the Communities and Schools, the Waves for Kids, Boy Scouts. I mean, I could go on, but this list varies from time to time. There's only so much money to go around, so we're hoping this is going to create more money. So some years we have more charities than others. It just depends on where the needs are and how much money is available.
All worthy endeavors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything we raise, I'd like to point out, is all stays in Brunswick County and right close to home here in Southport.
Great.
There's other charities, international charities that Rotary does, but those come from, and you know this because
Sure.
you're a Rotarian too, that
Sure.
they come from individual donations that Rotarians make to the Rotary International Fund.
That's true. Right.
And for people that aren't familiar with Rotary, they've been around for 100+ years. It was started in 1905 in Chicago by a handful of businessmen that just wanted to get together and talk business one night a week. And they rotated from each member's place of business each week, and that's where the name Rotary came from.
Exactly.
Because they would rotate.
Yeah.
Now we fast forward to today, you'll find Rotary in over 200 countries. There's 13,000 clubs. There's 1.2 million members, which means that if you put this in a dollar perspective, if Rotary wanted to raise $1 million for a project, each member would have to cough up 83 cents.
How about that?
So there's power in numbers.
You're right. And it's one of the great service clubs in all the world.
Well,
that's for sure.
it was the first and the oldest.
And it's the largest.
And it's the largest, and there's
Right.
power in numbers.
Back to the race. Let's talk about the individual that wants to run. How much does it cost? Are tickets available? Where does one register? Tell us more about the race now.
You can register today going to the website for itsgotime.com or through the southportrotary.com website. There's a link as well.
Great.
For the 5K race, it's $30 to register, and there's a $5 discount if you register before August 15th. Also, there are discounts from military and law enforcement. For the 1.5 mile, that's a little bit less expensive. It's $20 and $15 if you register early. Youth age 6 to 10 can run in any race, anytime, registration for $10. And if you're 5 and under, it's free. Just come out and have a good time.
All right. I'm a runner. Tell me that you have a great T-shirt.
There's a fabulous T-shirt. We actually have a whole race packet. We'll be having a special packet pickup event at New Hope Clinic on Friday the 29th from 4:30 to 6:30 to showcase what this event is supporting.
Right.
So we'll give tours of the clinic and have some entertainment and some refreshments, as well as having a chance to pick up your T-shirt ahead of time.
Good. Let's hope that by virtue of this telecast, hundreds and hundreds come out to this race.
Absolutely.
To participate and to be a part of it, or to observe.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sheila and Dave, thank you for being with us. It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
All right.
Dave,
Thank
thanks
you,
so
Jim.
much.
Go jump in the lake! Go jump in the lake! Go jump in the lake! Go jump in the lake!
Come to the Southport Rotary Club's annual Labor Day 5K race at Boiling Spring Lakes. This 5K supports many of Rotary's local charities here in Brunswick County. Sign up online at southportrotary.com or at race day. Great fun, fellowship, and prizes. We know it's hot, but when you cross the finish line, you can go jump in the lake.
Thank you for joining us this month on Our Hometown. It's our hope that you've enjoyed learning about these events and will take the time to attend one to support our community. If you have a story that you'd like to share on a future show, visit us at atmctv.com to tell us about it. Thanks again for joining us, and tune in again next month as we explore more of Our Hometown.